Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mabimpressions, and today we're going to be looking at Sands of Aura. This is a dark fantasy action RPG hack and slash crafting early access, and it bears the tag Souls-like combat. Does it live up to it? We're going to get into all of that, but before we do, if you like these types of videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. I upload daily reviews and gameplay highlights. If you have any questions that I have not covered in the review, please feel free to leave a comment below and I'll try to get back to you ASAP. I'm going to be giving you a summary of the game, talking about gameplay specifics, the graphics, presentation, the pros and cons, what did I like, what did I dislike, and of course my final verdict on if I recommend the game or not. So make sure to stay till the end of the video for my final rating. Let's begin. So it was developed and published by Chasu Entertainment and Freedom Games. I want to thank them for the review copy. However, all thoughts will be my own. The game released October 21st, 2021, and it is currently going for $24.99 US. The story, to make it simple, you are a warrior in training. The world is covered in famine. There's death everywhere. There's darkness. There's dark rituals all over the place. And worst of all, it's covered in sand everywhere. So your job is to save your town and then maybe even save the world. Who is the target audience for Sands of Aura? Well, if you like isometric action RPGs like the Van Helsing games, or even Diablo, I think you're going to be into this. It has a lot of constant progression. You're always getting new loots. You're always getting stronger in some way. There's a lot of Souls-like mechanics that this game shares, and I will get into the nitty-gritty of what those are. Like I said, crafting, exploration, and there's some good world building here, a lot of narration. Moving on to the gameplay section. What are you going to be spending the majority of your time doing in this game? Exploring, combat, loot, crafting, questing, and the big story overall. Let's go into some of the specifics. Let's talk about exploring first. When you first start the game out, you're in this tutorial zone, sort of like a tower in a dungeon where you are going to be learning the basics, the ropes, learning how to dodge, learning how to attack, how to pick stuff up, how to imbue your weapons with things. And you're on this little quest with your mentor and you're trying to help him out when all of a sudden, oh my god, some big terrible thing happens that destroys and corrupts the water. So you end up draining it, and then you find out, hey, now that I have drained this, there's nothing left to do, so I have to go out and find water for my village. So after you finish that little tutorial zone, you are free to explore the town. You can talk to the townspeople, you can get quests, you can go to shops, you can start crafting things. And one of the most exciting things is you can get on your boats and you can start riding. This is a sand boat because the world is just covered in, deserts and deserts. So you can go on it and you can go right around. It kind of reminded me of Wind Waker, that first experience you got with Link riding your boat and using your little baton to, use the wind. The largest part of the game, and I'm not going to go into every little thing, but I will explain some of the mechanics for combat, looting, and crafting, because it is a huge part of it. So let's talk about the Souls-like stuff. What is very similar? Well, there's a bonfire where in this game it's more of a bell where you go to the bell, you can rest there. It replenishes your HP pots. We have 3 at the beginning. You use them up and then you go there and you fill them back up. But if you rest, the enemies respawn, hence like Dark Souls. And if you die, you go to your last bonfire. If you do end up dying, you're going to be dropping all of your loot, only your currency, not your equipment or anything, and you have to run back over there and pick it up before you die and lose it all. Another thing that could be compared to this game that's very Souls-like is the actual flow of combat. It's not insanely fast depending on your weapon, but for the most part, you're walking up to an enemy, looking on how they interact with you and the environment. They wind up, you can block, you can get out of the way, and then you respond. When you defeat enemies, there's lots of different loots. First of all, they drop a currency which is used to upgrade your items, your weapons, your armors, purchasing new gear and runes. And also on your travels, you're going to be opening up chests to find new armors that you can't get anywhere else. These ones are primarily the same sort of stats on it, HP and armor, but they are certain armor sets. So if you find one in an area that says, hey, if you need 3 pieces for this, it might be in your best interest if you really like the bonus to run around the whole jungle or wherever you are to find the rest of that. You can also get different drops from enemies called runes. Every weapon and armor in the game can be imbued with these runes. Some give you, armor percentage up. Some give you, health up, etc. The most interesting ones are ones that go into your weapon and give you new skills. This is a really awesome mechanic in the game, and it kind of threw me off a little bit, but after you play more, you are going to get used to it. You have a basic swing, right? You don't have a strong attack, but you have a regular swing, which you can charge up and do more damage. As you hit with your regular weapon, you are going to be increasing something called the skill bar or the corruption bar. I'm not sure if they're the same thing, but pretty much it is your weapon's special ability. If you have a sword, you're gonna do like an upward swipe with a little wave attack. If you have a glaive, you're gonna be doing a big AoE, and then if you hit enemies with that, you are gonna be increasing another bar, which is your skill bar. The rune that you put into your weapon, whether it be a lightning gem, a fire gem, an ice gem, and these are different rarities. You go common, uncommon. You get new moves to use with them. These moves can improve your regular attack, make it so you dodge with different properties, and even guard with new effects. So basically you have 3 ways for offense: your basic attack, your special attack, and then your skills, and they all intertwine together, and it's a balance of attacking and just keeping all of your bars up and using them at the right situation. I want to quickly cover crafting because you do get a lot of loot here, and when you first get to town, you have the option to go to an anvil. You have your basic sword, but right away it gives you the options of making a lot of different ones. You have a one-handed sword, you have an axe, you have daggers, you have glaives, you have pointed spears, and all of these change up your base damage and the different types of animations. Some are really fast, and of course some are slow. You could also unlock new sort of weapon heads like spearheads, and these give you different properties. So you have a lot of variety in customizing your loadouts. This game doesn't have levels, so if you're thinking of using your souls to set on a bonfire and increase your strength or anything like that, it's not like that. In this game, it's basically just equipment. So you make the weapon you want, and you hopefully get some good gems to imbue that you want as well. All right, let's move on to the presentation. So as you can tell from the footage, it is an isometric camera angle. It is a dark world. The enemy designs are pretty awesome. However, I did start to run into some reskins. Not that many, but it was like, oh, okay, it's the same enemy, just different color and more damage. The environments are really awesome to run around and look at. There's no maps as far as I can tell, and you can't zoom the camera in or out. It's basically just one angle, and it kind of feels like it's at a weird one where I want to see what's far ahead, because this game has really amazing graphics. I love the models. I really wanted to zoom in and focus on battle or even look behind the character, but it is what it is. It's locked to that angle. For the sounds and music, there isn't much that really stood out in my mind, because this is like a really Souls-like experience. I'm not really focused on that. It's more of like combat and progression. So yeah, sounds and music, I have no comment on that one. Time for the pros and cons. What did I like? What are the selling points for this game? First of all, it is an epic journey. You have constant progression, very challenging combat. There's great loadout variety. Loot is fun. Exploration is top-notch. You're going to be exploring a lot of sands, and even though this game is early access, someone came in the chat while I was streaming this, and they're like, yeah, this game's amazing, I'm going to be speedrunning it tomorrow. And I was like, what the heck, is people already speedrunning the game? It just came out. What did I dislike and what would I change? It's really hard to say with these early access titles, because a lot of things that I usually want in games is just more content, bug fixes here and there, which it's early access. It's going to happen as we go along. But I guess one thing I do have to say is some of the animations are very slow. I did not like combat using certain weapons, but it's just, it's the feel for the weapons, right? Maybe just, some are suited to other things, but some of the animations were a little jank. A lot of the voices were there. They're nice. Definitely. I think there were some missing sound effects, but of course, like I said, that's nitpicking because it's all going to get fixed eventually. Time for the final verdict. What's my final thoughts? Well, it's early access, and I think the price of $24.99 is very fair for the length of the game you get and for the quality of the game you get. This is very good, and I do want to play more of it, but I have to stop because usually with these types of epic games, I want to play it when it's version 1.0 to get the full experience. Because if I play the game for like 5 hours or so, and then, you know, there's a freaking roadblock we have to stop content-wise, and then we come back a year later, I don't want to replay all of that when I've already done it so much. I'm gonna get burnt out on it. So it has a completely solid foundation, and I cannot wait to play more. So I'm going to be giving Sands of Aura a nice recommendation of 75%. Yes, get it. If this was version 1.0 and they had a lot more stuff, I would say 100%. But because it's early, maybe, you know, follow it, add it to your wish list, and keep an eye on it. Because maybe you're like me and you want the full package, or maybe you just want to jump on in and try it now. So if you guys enjoyed, leave a like. It helps a lot. If you haven't already, subscribe for daily videos. If you want to see the full unedited stream we did of it, there's a link to my Let's Play YouTube channel. And of course, come by Twitch where all of it was streamed. We'd love to see you guys there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.